Enjoy the session.
Good afternoon. Welcome. I really love to see you all here in 3 dimensions. It's a completely different feeling. Welcome to ECCB 2022. Welcome to SICCES. As you probably know, we organized this conference 2 years ago and was, as you may remember, very unfortunate because we have to cancel the presential meeting, go virtual. It was a nice conference, but it still was not the same. So we were really disappointed and wanted to do it again because we thought that could be a fantastic opportunity to have you in SICCES. That is a nice place, as some of you may have realized, full of surprises. So we finally made this to make a reality. At the beginning, we were discussing if how many people can we have and the economical balance. And we were thinking, maybe 300 people, too risky, maybe 250. And then we are almost 1,000 people. So I think that is very good because it's a lot of people. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, hopefully it means that we are recovering from the COVID pandemic. So very happy and welcome. So this is the 21st edition of the European Conference on Computational Biology. As I say, the second time we organize this virtually in SICCES. The second time we organized this physically in Spain. There was another one in Madrid in 2005. For this one, we wanted to make still benefit from the combination of real and virtual. So we have already this hybrid mode. And we have all these new trends in bioinformatics series organized the previous days in terms of workshop. And now we are starting the part of the in-person conference. I have to say the possibility of doing this virtual conference the previous days for the workshop has been very successful because this gives us access to a much larger audience in different countries and reaching America and Asia. So thanks, now some thanks to organizations. We cannot do this without them. Our main partner is Elixir. And after these words, we have Niklas Blomberg, the director of Elixir, telling us a little bit about Elixir, and also our sponsor from the different categories. We are very helpful, very thankful to all of them because otherwise it's impossible to organize a conference like this one. The organizers of the conference are the Barcelona Supercomputing Center, the National Center for Supercomputing in Spain, the Spanish National Bioinformatics Institute, that is the Spanish node of Elixir, and with the support of BCO Congress as the company helping us with the organization. Well, I also want to thank the chairs and all the referees. As you know, the conference involved a lot of publications of papers and reviews of the tutorial, reviews of the different tracks. So I'm not going to read all the names, but obviously the scientific part of the conference is essential, and these are the chairs of the different tracks. And really, thanks to all of them for making the conference a scientifically outstanding event. And the keynote speakers. I think we have a fantastic selection of keynote speakers. We went searching for a diversity of topics. We want to cover as much as possible of the many things that bioinformatics and computational biology are doing these days. I think we managed to have a very reasonable representation of things that are very hot these days, from small proteins to networks, to artificial intelligence, of course, to natural language processing, to the importance of genomics, not only for science, also for companies. And later I will introduce Cesar Hidalgo talking about networks, visualization, artificial intelligence in science, in economy, in biology, and related topics. And then I left Salvador Capella, my dear co-organizer, to go with the program highlights.
Thank you very much, Alfonso. So some highlights for the main part of the conference, because as you might know, we have been running ECCB since Monday in virtual mode. So we have the 5 traditional tracks on data, genes, genomes, proteins, and systems. So we have proceeding papers and highlight papers that are the main core of the program, but we have some novelties. So we have a new track that is composed of invited talks on climate crisis and health. As you know by now, there is an important aspect that we should be looking at. Then we have a dedicated session to engage with new communities or with the global communities. In this case, we're bringing a session between the European communities represented by Elixir and the Latin American bioinformatics societies, with representatives from 7 different societies in Latin America, from Mexico to Argentina, passing by Peru, Brazil, Colombia, and so on and so forth. We have a birds of a feather that will be focused on sex and gender biases in technology and artificial intelligence. It's an open session, so you are more than welcome to join them on Tuesday. Finally, we have invited talks on how to access European HPC resources. As a bioinformatician, we always need more computing power, so there is a talk on how we can request access to those resources. And we have also an NGO participating for the first time in such a conference where they are asking us to join the efforts to have open source models. Finally, we have 533 posters of different aspects. We have included 2 new sections on training and applications, and I invite you to attend the poster session on Monday afternoon and Tuesday afternoon. Apparently, this is working, not working? Okay, so at the end of the conference, we are partnering with Earthshausen to make available your research output. So there will be a gateway for the ECCB conference where you can publish your poster, your slides, and so on and so forth. Importantly, you will have a DOI that then can be used, can be cited, and so on and so forth. And this is important. We have an app for the conference. Here you have the links, so to download it for Apple and Android. But interestingly, in the app is just the program, but also ways to contact people, to add people, to chat with them, even to agree in a meeting during the conference. So have a look and use it because it's very useful. We have been trying to reduce as much as possible the use of paper, so we try to avoid printing as much as possible. Then we have 3 awards to the best poster, thanks to Goblet. And these awards will be based in a criterion, 3 different criteria: scientific quality, visual communication effectiveness, and engaging and as well structured presentation. But the way to select those posters will be based in a mixture of popular votes and a dedicated panel. So for those of you who follow Eurovision, it will be a little bit like that. Sorry if there is biases, huh? And then I have to say that a few minutes ago, the special issue for this edition of ECCB has become online. So you will find it at that QR. So we have 25 proceeding papers being published at the special issue. And then you will have access to it from basically now. Code of conduct, that is important. So we want to have a safe space for all of us to enjoy. It's the first time for many people joining a conference, so we want them to feel welcome, respected, and so on and so forth. We have a code of conduct because it's better to have a code of conduct and not use it than to have no code of conduct and need it. So please have a look at the information that we have, a code of conduct. We have allies in the conference, 3 people, and different channels to communicate any incidents you might have. Hopefully not. Alfonso, this is yours.
I reserve for this introduction the best part for me, so this is the party. So I promised 2 years ago that will be a party in the city, and we'll reserve a square of the city for the party. I think that this is going to be true. Hopefully it's going to be true. We have tried to organize things in a way that is a party for everyone, is accessible to everyone, and we just look forward to see you. There will be dinner plus party from 9:30 to 12 or something like that, or
8:30.
8:30, 11:30, what? And on a nice side, on the other side of the city of Sitges. So that's I'm looking forward. So I hope you also enjoy it. And then for the last day, we organized a visit to the Barcelona Supercomputing Center. We used to say that this may not be right now the most powerful computer in the world, but is with no doubt the most beautiful supercomputer in the world. So if you are interested, we will be. You will have to book it because we cannot have 1,000 people visiting the place. So the first one asking for that will be the one that can get this time to visit the BSC. There will be buses going from here to Barcelona, and then will be a visit introducing you to what is the BSC and what is the supercomputer, and for you to enjoy the visit to this computer in a chapel that may inspire all kind of thoughts. And that's it. With this, again, you are most welcome, and happy to see you. Thanks for being here. And now it's time for Niklas Blomberg, the director of Elixir, to introduce us to Elixir. Niklas.
Thank you, Alfonso. And while I'm waiting for the slides to come up, like you, Alfonso, it is actually quite emotional to be back at ECCB, and you should try this, to stand here in front of the big auditorium and look at all the people that you haven't seen for many years. And I think for many of you, it's the first conference. For others, it's like me, we're meeting friends and colleagues that we haven't seen for a long time. So I'm really, really looking forward to ECCB and meeting all the people and seeing all the new science. So a big thanks for your tenacity, I guess, in getting this organized again, Alfonso and Salva. It's also, it's good to be here, but it's actually even better to give an introduction to Elixir at an ECCB in the Anna Tramontano auditorium. So neither ECCB nor Elixir would actually be what it is today, I think, without Anna. In fact, I think it's fair to say that much of bioinformatics would not be what it is as an academic discipline without the contributions of Anna Tramontano. She's been driving force between ECCB as the main European conference and opportunity for the young scientists of Europe to come together and showcase what we're doing in bioinformatics. She was also a real driver for setting up Elixir as an organization, and actually she came up with the name Elixir, which, as much else in science, comes from Arabic. It's essentially means the life-giving potion. And if it was an abbreviation or an acronym, she never told anyone. So we are here as I'm leading Elixir with a great gratitude to Anna also for the name. So it's really nice to be back here, and I'm really looking forward. I wanted to say a few words about Elixir. So ECCB is really, really important for us, and we've had a partnership with the ECCB steering group and the organizing committee for the last 9 years, as long as I've been with Elixir. And I think it's important to reflect on the fact that what Elixir is a research infrastructure. We're a bioinformatics infrastructure. We're here to support science. But I think in science, it's important to reflect on the fact that the infrastructure of today, things we take for granted, at one point really was cutting-edge research. We are trying to help to preserve the databases for posteriority and drive long-time data sustainability. But at one point, these were actually research projects coming out of young PhD students and young investigators who were setting out to do something completely novel. And so I think that's the perspective I bring when I come to ECCB. It's not about infrastructure, it is about the exciting new research. And as director of an infrastructure, I think I need to think about how can we help both that research and what are the elements of what we're doing today that in 10, 15 years' time will actually be taken for granted and will need to be operated at the European scale. So a few words on Elixir. And you may or may not remember this. If you forget, you're welcome to our booth, which is opposite the BSc Spanish node booth in the foyer. But I think the key thing to remember with Elixir is that we are distributed. We are built from the national organizations, and we're here in Spain. And as Alfonso said, the Spanish National Bioinformatics Institute, the INB, is the Elixir node, and we exist as a distributed infrastructure. And it is the people working within these nodes that are developing and delivering and taking care of the services that we can offer. And I think the other thing to remember there is that most of our national nodes really have quite a healthy mixture of research and infrastructure. And BSc, I think, is an excellent example, isn't it? You have a world-leading infrastructure, even if it's not the fastest computer in the world anymore, it's the most beautiful. It's also one of the few supercomputers, I guess, that made it into a Dan Brown novel. So it's it's probably the most powerful in that sense, Alfonso. But actually, BSc is also a leading life science research institute in Europe. And I think it's that healthy mix and interplay between actually our infrastructure, the support services, and the research that we want to. And so what do we do? Well, we actually exist as a European organization to help to connect these national centers and EMBL EBI, which is our big European flagship laboratory, of course, into a federated ecosystem. So we are really trying to connect Europe in that sense and help the transnational connectivity and the international collaboration of science. And so in that sense, it's great to be able to share also with our Latin American colleagues later in the week. And to do this, and this is a big focus for us, it is really about people and to develop people and develop the capacity that enable sort of every university, every core facility, every country in Europe to participate on an equal footing and drive things like fair data stewardship. And the success of this is really when every research project, I think, has the means needed to preserve data in a meaningful way for the future. So this is what we do. We're about making connections, and we're trying to connect Europe. The plot is not genes, and I guess it's the only non-gene circus plot in this conference. It is really a map of all the collaborative projects that we've been running between our national nodes over the last 9 years, and you see there's quite a lot. And so we are trying to connect the services, the sort of technical connectivity, and so we do a lot of work in our various working groups on standards and definition of interfaces and so on. But it really is also about connecting people, because at the end of the day, standards and technology are adopted when the people think that it will work for their science and for the needs of their institutes. And so the people aspect of Elixir is really important. So I like to think about us as a community, and there was supposed to be an animation. I'll try again. And so I like to think about us as a big community, and some of the people here at ECCB will be part of our working groups, and others, I hope, will be users and beneficiaries of the work that we're doing. So hopefully we can feel like one big community and really enjoy the sort of the science part of bioinformatics this week. So just to finish this off, I think we really are about self-sufficiency. This is not about hands-on services. It really is about enabling researchers to get access and do the right things quickly in early on in their career, to help to build capacity and skills in every research institute. It's not only about the big institutes in the major European centers. This really is distributed. We have over 220 institutes in Elixir, and the training and the development of people across Europe, I think, is a cornerstone of what we do. And in that sense, we like to think about ourselves as pooling the expertise of the community for the benefit of the larger community. But we are a sponsor, and so we will present some of the work that's been happening in our various working groups. And so there are 3 Elixir sessions in the morning tomorrow and on Tuesday. And as Salva said, on Tuesday afternoon, we have this really exciting exchange with Latin America. We also, later in the week on Thursday, we have an industry workshop, which is developed by or driven by our Spanish node, and so really trying to help our national partners to showcase the science and build stronger connections with the industry. So if you're here on Thursday, I think the Innovation and SME Forum will be really quite an exciting. I think it's almost fully subscribed. I see Salva nodding, so advertisement might be out of place. And that's really all I wanted to say. So I hope we'll get a chance to interact. And again, I want to thank Alfonso and Salva and the big team at BSC for all the work and a great collaboration to get this conference started. So thank you very much.